Imagine you're in a rowing boat on a lake. It's summer, early morning, the time when the sun hasn't quite broken free of the landscape, and long projected shadows tiger stripe the light. The rays are warm on your skin as you drift through them, but in the shadows the air is still cold, grayness holding onto undersides and edges wherever it can. A low clinging breeze comes and goes, racing ripples across the water and gently rocking you and your boat as you float in yin-yang slices of morning. Birds are singing. It's a sharp, clear sound, clean without the humming backing track of a day well underway. There's the occasional sound of wind in leaves, and the occasional slap splash of a larger wavelet breaking on the side of your boat. But nothing else. You reach over the side and feel the shock of the water, the steady bob of the lake's movements playing up and down your knuckles in a rhythm of cold. You pull your arm back. You enjoy the afterache in your fingers, holding out your hand. You close your eyes and feel the tiny physics of gravity and resistance as the liquid finds routes across your skin, builds itself into droplets of the required weight, then falls, each drop ending with an audible tap. Now, right on that tap, stop. Stop imagining. Here's the real game. Here's what's obvious and wonderful and terrible at the same time. The lake in my head, the lake I was imagining, has just become the lake in your head. It doesn't matter if you never know me, or never know anything about me. I could be dead. I could have been dead 100 years before you were ever born, and still, think about this carefully. Think past the obvious sense of it to the huge and amazing miracle hiding inside. The lake in my head has become the lake in your head. Behind, or inside, or through the 218 words that have made up my description, behind, or inside, or through those 969 letters, there is some kind of flow. A purely conceptual stream with no mass or weight or matter and no ties to gravity or time. A stream that can only be seen if you choose to look at it from the precise angle we are looking from now. But there, nevertheless, a stream flowing directly from my imaginary lake into yours. Next, try to visualize all the streams of human interaction, of communication, of those linking streams flowing in and between people through text, pictures, spoken words, and TV commentaries, streams through shared memories, casual relations, witnessed events, touching pasts and futures, cause and effect. Try to see this immense latticework of lakes and flowing streams. See the size and awesome complexity of it. This huge, rich environment. This waterway paradise of all information and identities and societies and selves. Now, go back to your lake. Back to your gently bobbing boat. But this time, know the lake. Know the place for what it is. And when you're ready, take a look over the boat's side. The water is clear and deep. Broken sunlight cuts blue wedges down to the clean, cold depths. Sit quietly, wait and watch. Don't move. Be very, very still. They say life is tenacious. They say given half a chance, or less, life will grow and exist and evolve anywhere, even in the most inhospitable and unlikely of places. Life will always find a way, they say. Be very quiet. Keep looking into the water. Keep looking. And keep watching. The preceding is an excerpt from the Raw Shark Texts, a novel by Stephen Hall, a work ahead of its time. When I had read that passage, it left something in me. Something that wanted to be passed on. Something that had a life of its own. There's a life that lives in ideas, so it should be a surprise to no one that they can infect, that they can consume. The Raw Shark text contains info hazards, pieces of information that are dangerous simply because you know them. It feels like a dangerous book to hold. It's a metafiction with a frenzied pace, breaking without warning into dreams, memories, or hallucinatory other worlds, instilling a creeping sense of mania and paranoia. The book is punctuated by attacks from the Ludovician, a conceptual shark which dines on the thoughts, memories, and identities of the old and infirm, or anyone unlucky enough to drift too far out into the metaphorical seas of the mind, the occasional obsessed genius. It swims in the typography of the book itself. Its medium is language and ideas. The book obsesses over memes. The antagonist, Mycroft Ward, is a meme identity, a prototype for a hive mind. A man from the end of the 19th century who refused to die. He instructed another man to take over his life. He survived, not in flesh, but in writing, in replication, in meme. Eventually, Mycroft Ward became two people living in parallel, syncing their identities once a week, living all other days with twice the hours as the rest of us. And now, in the information age, Mycroft Ward lives across thousands of people, living years a day, spreading. The book and many of its ideas only become more relevant as the information age takes hold in us. Every thought and idea transmitted into the hive. There's also anti-memes, like the unspace, a place you can only see from the corner of your eye. A place made up of spiraling sewers and abandoned office buildings and forgotten industrial zones. Spaces we never truly see, the unseen iceberg under the tip of our world. I also just want to point out that this book predates the concept of the backrooms by over a decade. The book follows the protagonist, Eric Sanderson, or at least one of the Eric Sandersons, as he's recently lost his memory and subsequently his identity. He mourns the traumatic loss of his former partner, Cleo Ames, or at least he tries to, as he can only remember her in his dreams. You'll go on a journey with Eric as he recovers his lost memories, or maybe he's just in a fugue state. His mind unable to handle the great and lingering loss of the person he loved the most in the world. Maybe ideas have teeth. Maybe some are so powerful they can eat us alive. And maybe they don't just change us. And maybe they replace us. The book left something in me. And maybe without even having turned a page, it's left something in you too.